What's up guys, as you can see I'm on holiday right now, so this setup's a bit scuffed, but in this video I'm just going to talk to you guys about how to carry your team in solo queue. And this is kind of it's a hard thing to do, but if you can get it right, you can gain a lot of elo, even more than if you queue with like 3 to 5 players in Faceit or in MM. Overall in Faceit, although you can't control your teammates, if you're playing very well and you're carrying, you gain elo pretty much. So if you can be a super impactful player on your team, you will gain elo. So that's why it's super important for you to be able to carry and be able to, do kind of anything that the team needs from you. The first thing you're going to need is to have a regular practice routine. Now, I recommend a lot of deathmatch, minimum about 300 kills a day, and this is because the main issue I see with people in CS2 is you really need to connect your movement with your aim, and you need to still be kind of moving while you're shooting. And obviously this wasn't the case in CSGO, but now in CS2 you need to be able to do this. So practice a lot of deathmatch, practice aimbots as well. You can do a few movements you can see on the screen where you trace the head of the player and then you flick to the next player. This is a really nice exercise to do. There's a lot of specific kind of exercises that target different weaknesses and that kind of thing that I use for my coaching and for myself. If you are interested in any kind of coaching, just chuck me a message on Twitter or hit the link below and I might be able to help you out. So aim and practice, a lot of it just comes from playing a lot of Faceit pugs. As I said before, there's a lot of practice strategies that you can do to target certain low points of your gameplay and your aim and your movement. You can have a look at my other videos if you're interested in any of them. So one thing we want to implement if you want to win more games and be able to carry is Donk slide. So I've made a video how to move like Donk. Just give that a watch and you'll be able to see what I mean. When you're peeking a corner, you kind of want to tap crouch while you're shooting. So you have to, this is an advanced movement, you have to kind of sync your aim with your movement, but it allows you to keep moving while shooting and it makes it super hard for the enemies to kill you. So this is something you really want to get into your gameplay. This is a super important part of CS2 and people don't talk about it enough. Now the main thing is communication. So we want you to use voice chat obviously in Faceit, and you need to always stay positive and keep encouraging your teammates. If you're 8-0 down in a pug, you have not lost yet, and a lot of people think they've lost, and if you stay level headed, everyone will kind of come to your level and you can still come back from really big losses. So you want to get control of the game and you want to be able to push people in the directions that you want. You want to be able to default and kind of feel the game and work out where you want to play and where you kind of want your players to play. If you have some really not great players on your team, try and get the good positions like window and mid on Anubis so that those lesser players can kind of stay on the edges of the map and you can still rotate between where the enemies are. And on the other hand, if you're not as good as the other players in the game, then don't be afraid to go B apps. If you're playing with some really high elo guys, let them play mid. If you're playing with a 3 stack, let them go mid, play the edges of the map and just make sure you're calling a lot to them. This will give them a lot of info and really help you in the game. So one thing I notice is in pugs is people get very tunnel visioned, and if you want to be able to carry the game, you need to be able to focus on what's happening across the map, because there's a lot of people doing a lot of random stuff without calling anything. So always make sure you're looking up at the minimap every few seconds, just checking it and just seeing where everyone is, and then from that you can call rounds. So for example in Mirage, you take mid, you have 3 guys in mid, you have 2 guys in B apps, you can just call it on the mic and just say, guys, let's go B, let's go B split, you guys go short, I go up. So always check your minimap as much as you can. This also gives you info about where the enemies are if you're looking at the minimap. Sometimes your teammates will see them on the radar and not call anything, so you'll be able to see it. So make sure you're checking the radar. Another thing to keep in mind is the rubber band theory. So there's a theory where, for example on Mirage, you're playing B apps and your teammates are playing, and one of your randoms is playing A. And if we use this theory of always checking our minimap, you can see him pushing A ramp, and what you want to do is probably not push, because you can kind of watch the minimap, see what info he's getting. If he pushes and doesn't see anyone, and it's, there's only 40 seconds left, they're probably coming B or B split. So then if you have a molly or a smoke, you can block apps and say, guys, rotate B, A is clear. So this is what I mean by you need to be rubber bandy, so you don't want to push on both sides of the map. You kind of want to push on one side and rotate towards that side. You kind of just want to be on the end of a rubber band. You don't want to move both sides at the same time. Grenade lineups are also super important, so we want you to learn all the Mirage insta window smokes. Make sure you learn them. Look up the Nartouthere video. He's a great YouTuber and he shows a lot of lineups and what the pros are doing, and super important to sub to him and watch his videos. And obviously you need to know all the exec util and the maps that you play, so you want to know the Mirage util, the Anubis util, and the Ancient util, and that involves window smoke, like a cave smoke on Ancient. You just want to know the general util, so if your teammates don't, you can always throw it. If you see one of your teammates who aren't coming and they're just kind of just pushing everywhere, for example Ancient on mid T side, they're just pushing without anything, you can offer to, you know, throw him a flash or just come behind him and just bait him and make sure you can trade him. If you got to make the most of useless teammates, and the best way to do it is to be able to trade them. And you also got to know when to slow down or speed up. So a lot of the time you'll get teammates who are just pushing everywhere, and you can kind of chill back a bit and just see what they're doing, look at the minimap, throw a bit of util for them, and then play the late round. For example, if your teammates are all hiding, you might have to step up and push and get a bit more aggressive. So make sure you can do both of these options. Now the one is in clutch scenario, so just a simple one is to always come to your teammates. For example, if you're in a 2 versus 1 and the CT is on short, you're holding the bomb site and you planted the bomb, you know he's short, you can always call for a double peek. Double peeks are super strong in CS2 because it's super hard to spray transfer, so call double peeks whenever you can. Even if it's not perfect, it's going to work much better than letting them get 1v1. So in clutches you don't want to ever give the lesser numbers 1v1s, because that's the only way he can win. So if you can peek together, always do that. Another thing is to always look for continuous improvement from the players that you're playing with. So sometimes I'll play with some, you know, 2.7k elo, some lower elo players, and they'll have a cool set strat on pistol or something, and just note it down in your head and just steal it from them. So like sometimes I even steal Faceit players' pistol strategies and put them into my team, because sometimes they just call the most wacky stuff and I'm like, okay, let's try this in the team, and sometimes it's good. So always be willing to learn from what you're seeing from players. If you see them do a good move and it's working, just note it in your head and do it. You can actually learn a lot from the people around you. They're not, you might feel like, oh, they're all not very good, but there's some interesting things you can learn and little plays you can see, especially from people who are higher elo than you. Another thing is economy management, so make sure you understand the buys and how these kind of things work, because if you can get everyone on the same page, this will make a big difference, especially in CS2 with the MR12 and the fact that there isn't that many rounds in the game. If people are buying like deagles and armor when they have like 2.3k, it's like you guys are never going to have enough money, so try and control the buys. This will really help, and it will also allow people to drop weapons, so you can ask for weapons from people if they have a lot of money. Instead of just having a Tech 9, you'll have an AK because you've asked for the drop. For example, if you guys don't have enough money to buy, just call Eco, let's go do this strategy, and have like a little strategy that you like to do. So this is what I mean by before we want to kind of control the game, but buying is actually a really important one if you really want to be able to carry, because you can get guns from teammates, and you can also have a good economy just for yourself, and being able to, you know, have an AK will get you a lot more kills and be able to enable you to be able to carry. Okay, thanks for watching, guys. Just a quick one here. I'm just in France right now on the player break, so just chilling, but I thought I'd record a quick video. Just if you guys need any coaching, drop me a message on Twitter. So just click the link or send me a message on Twitter if you're interested in the coaching program, and hope you guys have a good day. Hope you enjoy your summer or winter if you're in Australia, and I'll see you in the next one.